Article VII of the Constitution is the final section of the document. After dealing with the different branches of government, adding new states and other fundamental issues, this final article turns to the last issue remaining to be addressed: ratification. Ratification is the process by which the Constitution goes into effect. Article VII is a single sentence. Quote, "The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same," end quote. In short, when 9 of the 13 states voted to approve the new Constitution, it would go into operation. Because the United States was a republican form of government, each state called a special ratifying convention where delegates, as representatives of the people of that state, debated the merits of the new federal government and voted whether to approve or reject the document. The requirement of only 9 states was an important one. Under the previous government, the Articles of Confederation, unanimous consent had been required for ratification. Experience gained by the Constitution's framers under the Articles showed that unanimous consent, while nice in theory, was in reality a good way to stop forward progress. 9 of the 13 was a reasonable compromise. Interestingly, it was entirely possible for 9 states to ratify, but for the largest states to not sign on. Without New York and Virginia, the 2 largest states at the time, as well as leaders of their respective sections of the nation, it would be nearly impossible for the United States to function even with the new Constitution. In an effort to avoid this outcome, 3 of the Constitution's supporters, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and John Jay, wrote a series of 85 essays under the pseudonym Publius to convince New Yorkers to ratify the document. These essays, known as the Federalist Papers, were published in New York newspapers from October 1787 to May 1788, but were widely circulated throughout the other 12 states. The first state to ratify the Constitution was the small state of Delaware on December 7, 1787. The required 9th state was achieved with New Hampshire's ratification on June 21, 1788. Virginia followed days later as the 10th state, and New York ratified as the 11th state in July 1788. As a fun sidebar, 2 states waited until the new government was set up and operating before they ratified. These 2 states were North Carolina and Rhode Island, which ratified the Constitution in 1789 and 1790, respectively.